So you look around and it's kind of hard for you to figure out why everybody's picking the Gators to win the SEC East. I'll explain it to you in a second and I'll tell you why they're wrong. Dean Legge from Dawgs making you a smarter Georgia fan. And if you're like me, you watch the betting lines quite a bit and you see Georgia is the fourth most likely team to win the national championship. They're favored to win every game they play except the one against Alabama, including the game against the Gators. And yet, you see Florida being a trendy pick to win the SEC East, and you're thinking to yourself, well, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So what's going on with that? Well, there's a couple of different things, and let me explain this to you now. It'll only take me probably till the end of this video. But there's something called marketing, and this is marketing for publications that are trying to get their name out, trying to sell magazines, etc. And if you're them, you want to make something that's not a shocking thing. Like Florida winning the East is not exactly a shocking notion. I mean, they're a top 10 program. But for it to make sense, that would mean that if you go by what Las Vegas says, and by the way, Las Vegas makes money off of people being right or wrong, and that would be the people setting their lines. Magazines make money, and people like me make money selling subscriptions or selling magazines. Those are not the same thing. So when you look at the betting lines and you see, well, the Gators, I can't find anywhere where the Gators are favored to beat Georgia. And that's the one game they got to win. And I can't find any game besides the game in Alabama that Georgia's favored to lose. Well, what's going on here? And it's really that simple. It's as simple as, oh, well, did you see what X had to say about Georgia not winning the East? And the other part of this is number two, which is people get tired of picking the same old thing every time. I mean, even they get tired with Alabama. I don't know if you remember this a couple of years ago, but Auburn was the team that was picked to win the SEC West by the SEC media, but then everyone picked Alabama to win the league, which of course is not possible. So this is a lot of summer talk, things that don't matter, etc. But I did want to touch on it because a lot of Georgia fans are getting very triggered by Florida being picked to win the East. First of all, that's not a crazy notion. I mean, you look at the Gators' schedule, and you look at Georgia's schedule having to go to Alabama. But the fact of the matter is that if you really were picking this and you were laying money down, Georgia would be the favorite to win the East. Actually, they are the betting favorite to win the East. They're the betting favorite to win the game against the Gators. So this is a really nuanced thing, and I think it's something that people need to understand. It's the same sort of stuff like people saying, and I do this too, people saying, is Tennessee going to catch the Gators this fall? I mean, my jaw would hit the floor if Tennessee was past Florida this fall. Okay, I just don't see that happening. But this is the time of year that's the sort of stuff that everyone talks about, including me. But you have to take everything with a grain of salt right now, particularly with the magazines. Now, you want to take a look at the betting lines, the betting numbers. That's a different ball game. You show me where the Gators are favored over Georgia. You show me where the Gators have a higher chance to win the national championship and the SEC championship and the SEC East championship. And I'll put it in the next thing. I will talk about it the next time we sit, because I can't find it anywhere. In fact, multiple places have Georgia as the favorite over the Gators, which is like, well, okay, let's say they lose to Alabama. If they beat Florida, that means Georgia's got to lose another game. What other game is that? Auburn, I guess? South Carolina, they lost South Carolina last year. Tennessee. Well, if those teams can beat Georgia, they certainly can beat Florida. And, of course, the Gators got to deal with LSU. So that's going to be a problem enough as it is. The Gators got to deal with Kentucky, who they've had a lot of trouble with lately. All right, so that's sort of an explanation of things that are going on. This is really a marketing play. So you can get triggered if you want to. That's your prerogative. You can get mad about it. But this is just a basic marketing play, trying to sell magazines. It is what it is. Dean Legge from Dawgs making you a smarter Georgia fan. Make sure to click right here. I'm going to get you ready for the 2020 season in a legitimate way. Click that playlist. You will be ready for the fall. It will be here before you know it.